Hello there, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another RebelScum.com video. And today's video is sponsored by our good friends over at Gentle Giant, who sent us this really awesome concept piece. And as a figure collector, I kind of feel like we got robbed. How come there was no Ralph McQuarrie concept art Sandtrooper figure? Because that would have been really cool. Now, fun fact about the Ralph McQuarrie concept art trooper, like a lot of other concept art pieces or concept art characters, now even the concept art Stormtrooper armor is making its way into canon as of Season 1 of The Bad Batch, also known as the TK Trooper. So, for those of you who have not watched The Bad Batch yet, that's just another really awesome design by Ralph McQuarrie that's made its way into canon. And I love how Filoni just keeps on doing that. Just keeps on sneaking in little concept art characters and things into canon. And I really hope that they just keep on doing that, especially with ships. I want to see more concept art ships make their way into canon. Because we keep getting troopers and aliens and stuff, and some droids, but I really, really want to start seeing more and more ships make their way in there. Anyway, this is the Sandtrooper. This is the concept art Sandtrooper. This was an SDCC 2019 exclusive, but in very limited quantity. You can still order this bad boy on Gentle Giant's website. I believe it's $120 in current value. So go to gentlegiant.com, order yourself this awesome trooper right here, and check out some other things you didn't know they might have. There you go. The box is pretty cool. I love, love, love that awesome image of the trooper there. Got a good view there on the side. More of a frontal view on this side. And on the back, some of that concept art that this guy's based off of. I really like when they do the concept art stuff. Some of the other Ralph McQuarrie pieces that Gentle Giant has done has been really, really cool. All right. Fragile. Looks like he is all one piece, as opposed to having to assemble him by putting the rifle on his back or peg on one of the arms or peg on the helmet. Be extra careful. He's packed extra safe. And there we go. A nice and simple mini bust. You can just display him straight out of the box, which I really like. And there's a lot of really cool design work that went into this. So I like the different color on the top of the helmet there. You've got a different colored band. I really like that. It separates him from the regular Stormtrooper a little bit more in design. Rather than just like in the original trilogy when we saw Sandtroopers on Tatooine for the first time. Really all it is a Stormtrooper with a backpack. That's really all a Sandtrooper is. Is it a different trooper variant? Technically, yes. But all a Sandtrooper really is, armor-wise, is just a Stormtrooper with a backpack. And as cool as that is, I like how this just sets that divide just a little bit further than just a Stormtrooper with a backpack. So, while the helmet's very similar in shape and design, you do have those different colors there. It almost looks like this is actually a little bit more armor on top of the regular Stormtrooper helmet. If I had a regular McQuarrie Stormtrooper bust on hand, I would show that difference. They have done a regular Stormtrooper McQuarrie bust. I just don't have it on hand, unfortunately. But here he is. There is his blaster rifle. I also really like the unique design of that blaster rifle right there. It almost kind of looks like like they took a shotgun and tried to make it into a long rifle. I love the magazine sticking out of the side right there. That's pretty cool. And I also really like how, even though he doesn't have a pauldron to signify his rank, on the bottom of the choke, he does have his rank color right there. So that's actually a pretty cool and unique way to show rank, which is by the weapon he holds rather than physically on the armor himself. Which that's kind of neat, I think. I like this little heavy pack right there in the middle. I don't think the regular McQuarrie Trooper has that. He's got some binoculars here on the side. I also really like this little arrow on the back of the head. I don't know if you guys can see that. I really like the little arrow right there. Now that's not just painted on. That's a hollow little triangular arrow bit right there on the armor itself, which I think looks really cool. I also really like the emblem right here on his right shoulder. Not quite sure what that emblem is supposed to signify, but hey, it looks cool. Maybe that's his detachment or battalion or garrison, whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's what that's for. I'm not quite sure, but that's cool if it is. He also has a cool and interesting symbol on that plate on the middle of his stomach, like I mentioned earlier. I wonder, how troopers usually carry a thermal detonator on their back, which he does not have one, and usually some Sandtroopers don't either. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be like a claymore pack. Like, how cool would that be if you just have this claymore pack? I'm sure it's actually just a utility pack, to keep some special supplies. Maybe it works like his backpack here. Which, to note, while I did previously mention that the backpacks they wear are just that's what sets a regular Sandtrooper and a regular Stormtrooper apart, is the backpack. That backpack they carry is very important for their survival in the desert. That backpack is basically a portable moisture evaporator that they wear on their back to help keep them hydrated in desert-like climates or desolate climates. So it's not just for show. It's not just a silly big backpack with extra gear and stuff in it. It's actually a very important backpack. And I actually like how this version on the concept art blends into the armor a little bit more. Matches the same color of the armor. Looks like it's just a part of it versus just a backpack that he put on. Going back to the whole, hey, it's just a backpack thing. Still, a lot of really cool things. Probably one of my more favorite busts, because I am a big fan of Ralph McQuarrie stuff myself. But what do you guys think of Ralph McQuarrie concept art stuff? Is it some of your favorite Star Wars artwork? Are some of the Ralph McQuarrie designs your preferred designs of some of those Star Wars characters? I don't know if I would prefer any of the Ralph McQuarrie concept designs over any of the others. I mean, I really like the Trooper designs especially. And I like that they made them their own Trooper. I don't know if I would necessarily pick the concept Trooper design over the designs we ended up getting, of course, in Star Wars. Now, I would say this is one of those exceptions. I would have rather gotten a Trooper that looked much more like this versus just a regular Stormtrooper with a backpack on. I think this would have been a cooler armor set to kind of mix things up a little, do something totally different from the same troopers. Now, obviously, the reasons they did it back then was budgeting, right? It was the first time they were doing Star Wars. They had for the time, a pretty small budget, and they were making magic out of something that had never been done before. So, I mean, as to why we didn't get a drastically different design, that's really the reason why we didn't get a drastically different design. But now that, Star Wars is the big giant that it is and pretty much has practically an endless budget at this point, let's face it, it's really cool to see these other designs coming out of the woodwork into Star Wars canon later on. So really excited about that. Can't wait for more. And thank you, Gentle Giant, for making an awesome bust of some really cool stuff. Stay tuned for more awesome RebelScum.com reviews. Stay tuned for more Gentle Giant sponsored reviews. Go check out their website. They've got a lot of really cool Star Wars collectibles there. And speaking of websites, make sure you're going to rebelscum.com every single day because there's something new posted every day to rebelscum.com. Go to rebelscumshop.com for all kinds of awesome swag and merch, like the shirt I'm wearing today. He covers the middle of that so perfectly, like the shirt I'm wearing today. And like and subscribe and follow us on social media as well. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. May the Force be with all of you, you Rebel Scum.